It's the intro is always the hardest part for me.
It is.
Yeah.
You know what? This can be the intro right here.
Hello everyone, welcome back to another video on my YouTube channel. Today is a little bit of a different video, a different style of video. This video is a interview with the one, the only Randy Vazquez. He has done my music and other YouTubers' music, like John Prosser from Front Page Tech. He does some great stuff for them over there. But today I'm just going to be interviewing Randy, explaining how he went from literally a nobody to who he is today, struggles that he's had, and just interviewing him on his whole experience. So welcome to my channel, Randy.
Hey, thanks, Paul. I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to be your first guest of doing one of these the daily videos. You know,
it's great to man. It's great, man. The daily grind it's killing me. So how did we meet?
I would probably have to say it was John. I know that you and
I saw him use you, and then I tweeted you out if there was how much, what was your pricing?
Yes. Okay, so then that's how it was, because I know that you and I have a few mutual other YouTubers that we follow. It was John who then tweeted me out after I had got with him during his off season.
And I think then I followed you.
Right. And so, yeah, then we linked up and you reached out to me, and
so I was like, I need music that's like with my brand, and with, I was trying to get serious with YouTube, and I was like, I need like a style. Cause like when you watch someone like Taillow Sub Tech, some people get annoyed by it, but I kind of like it. It's like the same music. It's like you recognize. It's kind of like a TV show. Like when you tune in to a YouTuber, it's like, hey, that's the same music, that's the same style, and I think that's very, very important. And I message you. I can't talk. But we just got back and forth. You got my music, and just kind of hit it off from there. Yeah,
I mean, when you reached out to me, and I remember seeing your name maybe a week or two beforehand, because that's when John shared me. Right. And so when I saw that video of why do you make YouTube videos, it was pretty inspiring, because I remember John basically was like, man, when I was 15, I wasn't doing anything, and I can pretty much relate to that. I was like, I wasn't doing anything. So to see that type of passion, that type of fire that you have, I was really taken back to see that you to be so focused on something like that. So when it came to you doing that, and then you reached out to me, I do pick and choose my clients. Yeah, I don't want to be affiliated with anybody who either it stirs up controversies or drama just for drama's sake. Not in the same way that how you know what John and Drew ended up doing, because that was that was beneficial.
That was great.
Yeah. So and we'll get to that later. But people who kind of just like to start problems. I do pick and choose my clients, because I do want to have a good, not necessarily a track record, but it's something that I absolutely feel that it would help benefit everybody in the long run. I've been with YouTube off and on since probably 2009. The one that exists now, it's been around for a very long time. I don't know if I've hit a decade yet or not, but the thing is, I didn't start uploading consistently until probably 2012, 2013 maybe. And even then, by consistent, my standard of consistency was I would do skits. I was consistently inconsistent for a while. So
same.
And not only that, I went on and did different projects with different people as well. So I actually have had probably on upwards about maybe 5 different YouTube channels. And
really, wow.
Yeah. So the one I have now where I showcase everything, that's my personal channel where I can pretty much be whatever I want to be there. However I did my rebranding.
It's more of like a personality,
Exactly. So that's me. I've had vlogs on there. I do. I'll post my music there. I'll post. I'll still put skits there and stuff like that. But when it comes to collaborations, when it comes to bigger projects or something where it's more than just me, I now adopted the philosophy of having a different YouTube channel for that. On the scheme of the whole thing, I would say I probably had about Yeah, I'd say about maybe 5. And some of them are still active now, and they're just kind of sitting in dormant. Other ones have been shut down due to conclusion of business and stuff like that. You know, you try things. Some things work, some things don't. And
yeah, totally.
So you know, you have
and
to
then some things start to work, like never working. Then all of a sudden, 2 years later, you get 3,000 views on this old channel that you totally forgot about.
That's actually happened to my personal channel. That happened to this channel, or my channel that I have now. Something blew up a few years ago, and it was, well, there's actually a few different, I wouldn't say viral, but for me, that I only have.
For you,
I have under 200 subscribers, and so when I hit 5,000 views like that, I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, so, what happened?
Yeah, so a few of them would be either because it was a music cover that I did, or there was one with the iPhone 7.
Yeah, music covers are a big one. That's a big one.
Yeah, I mean, that was my way of kind of like experimenting how to get familiar with
getting your foot
Logic.
In the door.
Well, I use I was trying different software editing for music, and so I tried Pro Tools, GarageBand at one point when I switched over to Mac, and then I ended up investing in getting Logic, and so a lot of the older covers that I would do was me trying to learn Logic or GarageBand or just try to get familiar with Apple.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Do you think Logic uses Logic to make his music?
You know what? It would be.
That'd be great.
It would be a missed opportunity.
So meta. That'd be the most meta thing ever.
It would be a missed opportunity if he didn't.
Yeah, that'd be great.
He should. So yeah, I had different videos that kind of blew up very quickly, and I remember one I had iPhone 7 hiss gate that happened because you could hear the hissing, and so I posted one that was legitimately recording the hissing because my phone, I had the iPhone 7 Plus at the time, and it had that. So I posted that, and that got, it just, in 2 days, if that, it was in thousands of views, coming from a guy who probably didn't even have 100 subs at the time. I was like, whoa. Yeah. Then I posted a skit, and it was me making fun of it on how to fix it. And it was basically, I drew a gun, and I shot the phone, and that's how you stop the hissing from. And
great.
It was
so smart.
People, to this day, that is the most disliked video I have ever had on my channel. The
my gosh.
I pulled it up right now. I have 105 dislikes to date and 39 likes on the video on, it's called How to Fix iPhone 7 Hissing. And it has over 3,000 views, and that just, people were not about that. People can't take a joke. That's the bottom line. They cannot take a joke. It is what it is. They can't. That's fine. Yep. I don't mind stirring the pot that way because, to me, if I start a problem, it's just happening with me. I'm not bringing anybody else involved. So if I have negative controversy like that, I don't care because at that point I'm not affecting anybody. And
totally.
Now I show up on algorithms when it comes to fixing iPhones. People have told me that my video would show up because of it. And then another one, interestingly enough, that has been getting a lot of traction organically. I never posted this video to my social pages because around this time last year, I actually got off of social media as a whole, just so I can take some time to get my life together. I was going through some stuff at the time, and I just put it on my YouTube thinking like it was just me, that if anybody wants to know where I was at, which a few people from Facebook and Twitter, they were looking for me, so they did go to my YouTube. But interestingly enough, that is the most engaged video I think I have overall. The hate that I was getting on my phone. So many people were sharing their stories, and it kind of has inspired me to maybe reconsider how I want to utilize my channel talking about stuff like that, because I realized that people talking about depression and people talking about struggles and just the environment, society, and how that affects you as an individual, people stay away from that because it's a bit taboo. You feel like you're getting judged, and I get it because it's very personal, it's very intimate. And you know, it kind of makes you, everybody, it doesn't matter who you are in the world, it doesn't matter what you do, what your age, are you boy or girl, it doesn't matter. Everybody share these struggles, and I realized that if I can have such an engagement of people talking about stuff like that, maybe I should direct some of my attention when I do make videos talking about that, because maybe people just need to have a conversation about it, that they don't feel comfortable talking about it in their perspective environment where they live, but then they can go to YouTube, and it doesn't have to be a place of where it's toxic. It can be where people can have a conversation
and escape, really.
Yeah, so it was interesting that happened too. That was another. That didn't get the same views that my other ones did, but it is the most. But it is very
interesting to see, like, you know, you tell your story and you feel like you're all alone, but really, there's pretty much everyone or most people have these issues, and it's very interesting. Yeah. To see, like, you just tell your story and then all these people tell theirs as well. It's inspiring.
Yeah. So, you know, that's where I sit right now about what I want to do with my channel. What I do with my channel and what I do with my business in regards to music, they can be parallel and coexist together, but they are two different entities. And so I struggle right now to finding my purpose in a way of what I want the channel to be, because I'm from because I'm from the generation of YouTube that I still believe in, where small little skits are great and they're hilarious because it's entertaining. Yeah. At the same time, I like posting my music and what I'm working on, because the more I post more and I get better as a musician, the more people. It got me to meet you. It got me to meet John. It did not get me into Taillow Sub Network. That was a whole different situation, and I'll touch on that in a second. But working on music is something that I've done my whole life. I've played the piano since I was like 2. So doing music is natural for me. I got into YouTube because I wanted to become a film producer. I wanted to become a director, a writer. I had all these ideas, and I started a YouTube channel with a friend of mine, and we were making a lot of videos together. And then we had a falling out of sorts, and so I kind of shut that production down. But the inspiration of writing something and creating and bringing it to fruition, something that you can actually see and hear, is still very captivating, and I've never lost that fire for it. But I always go back to music because it's so intimate, it's so personal, and, you know, music is universal overall. So
totally.
Going with YouTube there, I want to make skits still. I want to post my music. I want to do vlogs, and I also want to maybe have something where I can talk to people about more serious subjects, such as talking about depression and social media, provoking the depression of sorts. Like, I feel like these are things that are passionate for me. So that's where my attention is right now.
You got to make videos about what you're passionate about. It's the most important thing.
And if something comes from any of that, then I don't know if I'll have it start on my personal channel and then create a whole nother channel that would be dedicated to that. That's where I'm trying to figure it out. But that's where I'm trying to figure out the YouTube portion. With music, it's going to be what it is. I have a band. I write individual music, and then I work with clients such as you or John and some other people. So to me, I'm always busy. You know, I always got something to do. I am always working, and I love it. I'm the type of person that, because I'm doing what I love, it doesn't feel like work.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like work.
Really quickly, I saw your video about the night owls. Like, I'm in that category, but what I was going to do, I'm going to give you a little exclusive, because this is just for the fact that you're letting me do this interview with you. Here's my exclusive. I was going to make a video in response to your video, in response to the other guy's video. And I'm going to be the
responseception.
And that video is going to be, I'm going to be the guy who's in between, and I'm going to be like, okay, I'm going to fight you and the other guys. Like, I'm not an early bird.
This is going to be lit.
I'm going to be a middle guy. Like, I'm the boring guy. Yeah, I was going to just make a response to it. So that's your
gave me a video idea.
Yeah, I'm going to do it. I wanted to respond to it.
Sweet. Because, awesome. You got to. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, people enjoy
I love
response
responding
videos.
to videos like that.
I know. In regards to getting involved with the Taillow Sub Network, that one was a little bit more interesting. I'll preface
like, how does that all work? Like, I see you guys interacting on Twitter, like, occasionally, but it's more like the big one has been with you and John, it seems to be.
Well, okay, so what's interesting is all this happened all at once. I did not think 2018 was going to be like this. I decided to be a little bit more engaged with the channels that I was following, and be engaged on YouTube, or not on YouTube, but on Twitter with it, just because Twitter is my source of getting my news. But then here's how it paralleled. I found Drew first, and I found him months after he did the Dear MKBHD, Dear and Everything Apple Pro. Months after that, I found it, but that video was the one that introduced me to Drew. So I found Drew, And I was just a viewer, and I participated in that backpack giveaway that he did, and I made a response video to him giving me the tech backpack. And
I saw that, and it did really well.
Yeah, it was just one of those things where I told him that, hey, if I won, this is what I would do, because you said make a video, I'll make a video. At this time, Drew and I have never spoken to each other, and I made the video. He liked it. He sent me the package and everything like that. And that's where it resided. And as you know, he was working on 2X at the time, which we didn't know what that was. And so listening to the podcast, I was like, I know what it is. I heard the big hint that when he said this was recorded in 2X, I immediately tweeted Taillow Sub Tech and the podcast handle, and I said, I know what it is. So Nick, the other co-host for the podcast, reached out to me. He goes, okay, humor me. What is it? I told him, it's like, I am 100% sure it's this. And he tells me, I could tell you right now, or and spoil it, or you can wait until tomorrow. And I was like, you could tell me, because I'm final answer. I'm all in. And so he told me, and I was like, yeah, I knew it. Woo! I felt like that was a win for me. And then
win.
And so then Nick and I started talking, and he goes, oh, so what do you do? Because the first thing I said to Nick was, hey, thank you for doing this podcast. I don't know if people have reached out to you, thanking you, but I appreciate your work and what you're doing. And so I got to know Nick very well, because he was the one who was handling primarily all the Taillow Sub Tech podcast stuff. So we get to know each other. He goes, what do you do? I was like, audio engineering, music production, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And he goes, hey, would you be interested in like helping out an episode just to, make our production value better? And I was like, sure. So I edited one episode, not even an episode. He sends me a clip, and I just sent him a clip back, and I go, here's what I got. And he just gets back to me, immediately goes, will you do this? Oh, sure. And so I did it more just because I like working on projects anyway. So Nick told me that, me coming in to help would help the overall. And I was like, that's fine. And I told him initially, I was like, look, listen, I'll do this for free, just for the fact that I appreciate what you're doing. I'm here to help you. And so from there, that's how I got introduced into the network, and then ultimately working with Drew, doing an interview. Not an interview, I'm sorry, but doing a podcast episode with him. So I got into it with him on well, not into it in a fighting way, but I got into this with him now, to the point where Nick and I are seeking out. We've managed the handle, because I'm an admin on the Taillow Sub Cast handle, as well as now more taking on a producer role. I'm reaching out to sponsors right now, because we have the numbers to actually have sponsorships and stuff like that. So now we're actually taking this a little bit more seriously, where we can get sponsorships and brand deals and stuff like that. So I'm still going to be an editor, but I've taken on more of a producer role from it. So within that, that's my introduction to Taillow Sub. So that's where I got in with getting to know Drew. And then John happened because I found Front Page Tech, and I was watching. As we all did. Yeah, it happened, and I could tell you exactly what videos they were, because they were relevant to me. My carrier is T-Mobile. So John had covered something in regards to T-Mobile, and I was like, okay, I'll watch this. And then I realized I saw his format where he covers multiple news segments. So seeing that, I was like, okay, that's cool. And then his videos kept showing up on my recommended feed. So then from there, I tweeted him once just as a joke, and I said, I found your content. This is really good stuff. I think I'm going to keep watching it. We'll see. And he liked it, and he was very engaged with me. And I was like, oh, that's cool. The dude's staying in contact with me. And then like 3 episodes later, I subscribed finally. And so I tweeted him, and I told him, I have now given you the honor of welcoming your channel to my subscription newsfeed. And he was like, woo, and all that. And then that was it. And then John and I would have, friendly conversations back and forth on Twitter. But then at the beginning of the year as well, the same time I'm getting involved with the Taillow Sub podcast, the YouTube policy changed. And John took a very unfavorable stance saying that I welcome this because this is good for the whole network of YouTube, as opposed to everyone's saying this is going to affect me, this is going to affect me, I'm going to lose everything. And John was just calling BS on the whole thing. He was saying, no, that
I agree.
If you have 200 subscribers, you're not making money anyway. You're making pennies to the dollar.
I
and
agree.
YouTube's not going to pay you out anyway until you hit $100 in ad revenue.
Yeah, and even if you are in a partnership network, I mean, I was getting like $5 a month. Like that's
right.
That's like, come on, $5 a month. Chill, everybody.
I also took the same unfavorable approach, saying I welcome this. And I was getting heat for it. John was getting heat for it, but I was fighting the good fight with him on Twitter. Just like, no, listen, you guys don't understand the big picture here. And the reason why is because John and I both are from the era when to become a YouTube partner, they would have to reach out. Like you had to meet very strict criteria, reach out to them, or they reach out to you. There was a very lengthy process. It was not just anybody could have it. To become a partner was something you had to work for. So him and I talked about that offline. We were like, I told him, I remember these days, and the content was better for it. And he was like, absolutely. So him and I both had that approach. So then that made him follow me. That made him then subscribe to my channel, because then he was seeing what I'm about, because he's like, this guy seems kind of cool. Then him and I are talking, and he's made the reference many times. He would tell Brian, his co-partner with it, he's like, dude, Randy's just like us. And the humor is exactly the same. We talk to each other like we've known each other forever. And I've known him for months, but it was a very organic thing that happened. And so during this whole time, he was in between seasons. And so he was watching some of my music, and then he goes, dude, will you write music for us? I was like, yeah, absolutely. Then that's when he, put me out there, and that's how I got in contact with you and a few other people. And so John and I I consider John a legitimate friend, because we talk. Like friends talk. The things that we say, I would not be appropriate on YouTube anyway, so I'm just not even. But we just have fun conversations and stuff like that. So he's a guy that I'm glad I met, and now I see him not only as a smart business guy who makes good business deals, but I also see him as someone who has a good head on his shoulders, and he's actually a good guy. He's genuine, and he cares about the little guy, because he was in our shoes. And even though he's not technically through the standards of having a verified check through YouTube, because he doesn't meet the criteria, I do see him as a success, because if you're doing this as a full-time job, you made it, And even if it wasn't a full-time job, as he was talking about it, his whole fight is that do what you love, regardless of where you stand with your partnership of YouTube. If you do what you love and you put good content, you give the people a reason to come to you. And he's absolutely right about that. Totally. Nail on the head, perfect. And so that's why I enjoy working with you, because you have the same. You get it. Some people get it. Some people don't.
About just making stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. So I mean that's where the two main people that I work with. That's how I got in contact, or that's how I got in line with them. And then it brought me into smaller YouTube channels such as you and again, a few other people. So this has been an interesting 2018 so far, and we're only in March right now. I'm having a blast. I'm crazy that we're in March, because I'm so busy. I have so much things going on. It's crazy, but I'm loving it.
And now you're making music every day.
And now I'm going to be making music every day. I haven't decided how I'm going to do the content. Every video that I make, or every song that I make, I don't know where I'm going to go with it. I'm just going to sit down and just, what will happen? It might be a 3-minute song. It might be a minute song, but I'm not going to go any less than a minute, because then I feel like I'm cheating. But within that 1 minute, understand this. With that 1 minute that you're going to hear, there was hours of production that went into writing that 1 minute song.
Dude,
so
I know. Totally. Yesterday I filmed a video, and it was like a 40-minute recording, and it turns out to be like a 5-minute video. So I
know. That's
totally
great,
feel you.
The last thing I wanted to cover which was funny in regards to John and Drew, was when they called each other out. Many people know that I am affiliated with John and I am affiliated with Drew. And my phones were blowing up, and you were one of the people messaging me, teasing me after you saw my tweet.
Well, I saw your tweet. Like, I wasn't like texting you first.
I know,
like,
I know. You were poking fun at it, but that was really a thing. People are like, "Oh, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? You gotta pick a side now. You gotta pick a side." I'm like, calm down. It's not. Nobody has to pick a. And so I made a tweet about that, and then you, being the little instigator that you are, saw the tweet and then texted me. So I know that for you, it's as a content creator, you're going to have different production problems that you're gonna have to overcome within the next 30 days. But for me, as a music composer, I have a different set of problems as well, that I realize that I need to face these challenges. And some songs, just like some videos, they're just not gonna be good. And I accept that. But you're going to take away something from that. Even though I'm going to stick with doing a song a day, and we get like Sundays are our rest day or something. I think what I'm going to do in between all that, outside of the challenge, is I'm still going to be working on YouTube videos. So
I think the last thing we should really cover, since, you know, we talked about how we met, but then we also kind of talked about how you started with your different YouTube channels, et cetera, et cetera. And I think, you know, maybe the thing we should end off on is like tips for how you met the clients that you have now, and also just like tips for just starting. Because a lot of people, like, for instance, music is one of those genres where I feel like it's kind of hard to get recognition from. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong with that, but like with videos, there's a platform, YouTube. Obviously, we're on it right now. Right. But with YouTube, there's that search. So, you know, your videos are being thrown. Now, I know there's SoundCloud, but I don't know if there's that much of a great explore feature as there is on YouTube. So, like, how do you grow as a music producer, and how do you connect with people? Because in this day and age, there's so many people doing it.
So my advice for somebody starting off who wants to get into music specifically, if they are a musician and they just don't know where to go, I'll start with something more general because it's a universal advice for it, and then I'll hone in on the specific. If you want to get the clients, if you want to find the people, the first element in it is networking. You can't just put something on your website, on SoundCloud, on YouTube, on Bandcamp. You can't put your music or whatever you have to offer. If your business model is client based, you can't just put it out there and then wait for somebody to bite. What's going to happen is you need to find people who either might need your work, or find people who are also doing what you do. So in this example, I did not know John needed new music. I did not know you needed new music.
Oh, I needed music badly.
Right. So how that happened, and we'll use a two-tier system since it's relevant to this. I was networking with John just for the sake of getting to know the guy, because networking, you have to sell yourself if you're the brand. You have to sell your services in a way that you're not really, people don't buy your product, they buy you. That's the name of the game, especially when it comes to YouTube. They do not buy what you have because they can find that anywhere, or they can get a subscription and get the same music that everyone else is using. They buy into you, and that goes through word of mouth networking and promoting. So John just so happens to be the base on that one where we're talking. He would not have asked me to help him if I said, John, your videos suck. The algorithm's broken, and you know what? YouTube just doesn't care. Da, da, da. If I was just saying like, John, you're stupid. Same thing with him. He doesn't want to align himself with somebody who doesn't more or less see the same things that he sees. So the fact that we just found that common ground made him and I start talking. Then he goes, oh, and you make music? Hey, by the way, and that just happened organically. But You have to find somebody to kick it from there, and then ask them to pay it forward. I told John, please, if you can, help me out and just get my work out there, which then got me to you. And then by you showcasing me, you got me other people through.
I made all my friends follow you too. So
I mean, that's exactly that happens. So then you got more people lined up. So that's the networking portion, and that's just a general thing. Specifically with music, when it comes to music specifically, now that I gave you my general advice, when it comes to music, there's a different battle that you have to kind of go over because, like you were saying, on YouTube, it's video content. It's not really music. As a musician or an engineer of music, you have to find something that really. How do you stand out in that, especially when it's all audio based? How do you do that?
Yeah.
Well, one, I got the podcast with the Taillow Sub Tech, right? I got that. That got me lined up with people to see that, okay, so he does do audio engineering and he helps edit the show on that. So then people started reaching out to me in regards to what else do you do? And I showcased that I don't just do music, but I do anything audio related. So look outside what you normally do. If you just play music, consider doing other, like a podcast. Consider editing that so that we can do that. Or if it's on YouTube, and I've seen a few people do this, and I think this works best as of now, do other things besides music. The hard part is getting people to cross that boundary into seeing that, to go into that next step. What else do you got? So on YouTube, it's as simple as watching, check out this video next. But when it comes to music, you might have to leave the platform altogether and go somewhere else, whether it's SoundCloud or right now YouTube is the best place to go to for anything that is overall
video.
Video, but also put your music out there, even if you just have a still image as the video portion. But
I don't know if you've heard about, do you know who Chuki Beats is? I think I'm saying his name correctly, but what he does is he makes like every other day not really dubstep, but like music tracks. And then he also has a second channel where he documents him making those tracks.
Oh, yeah. No, exactly. Do something like that.
Yeah.
And here's the other part. As a musician, you're going to have to pay a little bit more money as opposed to what will happen with a YouTuber, where you get your music on iTunes and Spotify, Google Play Music. You need to get your music out there. You need to get what you have out there. And because then they will show up on playlists that people either manually create or it's in their own algorithm. When you have music, you have to end up spending a little bit more money up front
on getting it there.
You have to get it out there. And then once it's
just
out
like
there,
starting a business.
Yeah, exactly. Because then I have people outside of Twitter, outside of YouTube, who found me strictly because of Spotify or iTunes. And they're like, I saw this, I listened to your album, or I saw this song on your album. Oh my God, hi, that's awesome. And then you have to bring them into your network. Overall, you have to bring people to you because they're buying into you or your band or your whatever. So those are some of the more immediate advices that I would suggest, is that you have to be willing to spend some money and get your music on Spotify and all that. So go through a host such as like CD Baby or Catapult, or there's a few different distributors out there where they will push the music for you, so you actually pay them as the publishing company to then put the music out there to the services. Do that. Have some type of entertainment value incorporated on YouTube so people can find your music, and then network. You have to let people get to know you. And that's why I don't like the whole drama thing, because you can burn bridges that way if you do it wrong. Think of like Drama Alert. Like, nobody likes Keemstar.
I hate him.
Nobody likes him. Nobody likes him.
Not only are you burning bridges with celebrities or acquaintances or people that you could connect with, you're burning bridges with your audience.
Yes, agreed. And for what? I mean, I don't think. Well, I'm young and I didn't know what I was doing. I don't accept that as an answer. Just because definition of young is subjective. You could be, I'm 28 and I still feel young. I act young. I'm still immature. And then you got someone, you're 15. And you're so mature. You're way more mature than I was at 15.
I'm very immature.
But you know how to conduct yourself in a professional environment to where he didn't. And you build a good rapport with somebody, and then word of mouth goes way further than anything else. That's why sponsors love YouTube now. That's why John gets good sponsorships, because of the fact that if John says, guys, I recommend doing this, you take him at his word.
Sweet. Awesome. Is there anything you want to say as we wrap this one up?
To the people who are watching this video because of me and you don't know about Paul, really look at his content, because he makes some, you have a good production quality. The value is there. Really take a look at his stuff. He started just, as anyone else, doing random things here and there. Having your stroke and you getting more locked down with things, you can really see the focus that you have. And I would encourage everybody to go back and just watch the last 6 months of content that he put out there, or start when he rebranded the channel when I came on board. He's a cool guy. I like him. Hence why I'm here.
I just want to say thank you guys so much for tuning into the interview with Randy Vazquez and I. His YouTube and Twitter link will both be in the description below. Make sure to go follow him. He's a great guy and he makes some pretty awesome stuff. He's also doing the daily content challenge, so make sure to subscribe. So yeah, that's all I have to say. Thank you guys so much for tuning into the interview with Randy Vazquez and I. It was really fun filming it. Hopefully he had fun filming it as well. Peace everyone, and I'll see you in the next one.